Hello and welcome to the Leeds That podcast. I'm James and I'm with Rocco Dean.
Hello.
And Darragh Cunningham.
Hello there.
We are here after the result against Bristol. We were all there. Sorry, Darragh, you came over from Ireland with Steve and Shay. Good trip. Great to see you.
Yeah, fantastic trip. Honestly, we'll get into it later, but possibly the best I've ever had.
Yeah. Too right. We will get into it. Special thanks to Bass and Bly, sponsors of the podcast. Rocco, come on. Hit me with some Bass and Bly. Or Darragh. You're both welcome.
Yeah, go on, Darragh. I'll let Darragh have a turn this time. I've been hugging all this stuff.
Right, hang on. Before you deflect, anyone with a keen eye at the celebrations last weekend will have seen Pascal Strauch with his camera, and he then later posted them onto Instagram. He didn't buy it from Bass and Bly, but he should have done. But you can buy that brand of camera from Bass and Bly, which is a Fuji and a very good camera. Darragh, sorry.
And you can buy other major brands as well, like Canon, Nikon, Sophie.
Sophie. So well.
Leica,
so
Zeiss. Well. And they also do a range of other scope mechanisms, not just cameras. So they do monoculars, binoculars, and they do astronomical scopes as well.
Fantastic.
At 6 Beulah Street in Harrogate, and they have great heritage. They've been on the go, family-run business. Support local. That's what I say.
Like you said on the last one, Rocco, they've been going since the Revy era. So long time in the trade. bassandbly.com. Make sure you go there. Loads of used gear. And if you have any questions or you need any help with it, I was going to say message us, but don't message us. Message them. They'll be way better.
I'll add something.
World-class sponsorship like that. You know what I mean? Like, we're just going to have the offers flooding in now. We're in the Premier League.
Oh, exactly.
And I think it's always valuable to clarify the spelling, B-A-S-S and B-L-I-G-H, because Bly could be spelt a whole host of ways, couldn't it?
I've done it.
So, yeah, a fantastic night in Leeds. We met around about 5 o'clock, went for pizza, lovely pizza at Rudy's. This isn't another sponsorship. It just feels like we're just plugging brands all the time, but we're more than that. I promise you, we are more.
Well, actually, I can reveal exclusively that Darragh didn't finish his pizza. So that doesn't shine well on Rudy's, but it took all my will not to finish it for him.
That depends on the custom. Now, El Tanaka would not always finish his pizza, because in Japan, if you finish your food, it means you're ready for more. Whereas if you leave a morsel, which is all I left, like I left about 2 bites, then that says you're nicely satisfied with your meal. So I would like to say a big hello to our Japanese listeners. And we'd like to know which one is your favourite, me, Rocco, or James. Hint, it shouldn't be Rocco.
Konnichiwa.
I thought you were going to say which is your favourite pizza, but yeah, that makes a lot more sense. So yeah, it was really good to see you, Shay and Steve, and Joe also joined us as well. And Lewis came over from Canada for the game. And last time I saw Lewis was in sad circumstances at the playoff final last year. So all round, a brilliant night. Phenomenal. Good bus journey down to Elland Road as well for a change. Darragh, was it last time we got the bus together? We took a wrong turn, didn't we? We ended up going down the motorway.
No, that was a. I don't remember what game that was. Yeah, because the last time we went was Middlesbrough. We got a taxi. We ended up walking through the Lowfields Tunnel. Can't remember which match that was. The bus ran the wrong way.
It was awful. Yeah, we ended
Adventures
up
of Leeds travels.
Nearly late, but yeah.
The spanner in the works came from Bamford, didn't it? Donating all that money to putting it behind $5,000 behind the bar at the Peacock, which made it really difficult to get a drink. Selfish.
It was just busy everywhere, wasn't it?
Can't get out and right, poor Paddy.
It was so busy everywhere, wasn't it? It was a lovely warm evening, so everyone was out, finished work dead on time, I imagine, and got into town and had a few drinks. It was party season, really. It was so warm, beautiful. Love those evenings. It made me wish that we could just play more spring and summer nights. Or it'd be fantastic, wouldn't it?
It was reminiscent of some sort of a festival, or that type of atmosphere, like almost a cup final type atmosphere. Like everyone was there early. It's almost hard to describe. Like people were there very early. Everyone was buzzing. Everyone was shaking hands with everyone, smiling, laughing, giving the Leeds salute. It was absolutely amazing. I have to say, coming over on the flight from Ireland, as usual, Dublin Airport packed full of Leeds fans. And this Watford fan grabs Shay in the bar and he says, "Sorry, mate, can I ask you a question?" He says, "Yeah, sure." He says, "Why is everyone wearing Leeds jerseys?" And Shay just kind of casually goes, "Well, we've a match tonight." And the man's like, "What do you mean we've a match tonight?" He says, "No, we're not going over to the match." And the Watford guy's face dropped. He was literally like, "You fly over to England, like there's hundreds of people, and you all fly over for Leeds matches." And we're like, "Yeah, every week." Like, so this is quiet, mate. Like on a Saturday, you'd have 2 flights to East Midlands, you'd have a couple of flights to Manchester, you'd have 2 flights into Leeds Bradford. It's like this is actually quiet because it's Monday. It's like, wow, you couldn't believe it. Like, and then it's funny then because then the usual Leeds hatred actually drops because as soon as they start chatting to you, he admits that he does hate Leeds, but at the end of it, he's saying, "Listen, best of luck, and for all the effort you're going to, I really hope you win tonight, and best of luck. I hope you win the league." It's kind of like that's really nice. So that's kind of what football's all about, isn't it?
Yeah, under his breath, "You pricks," as he walks away as well. sheer jealousy, sheer jealousy. But it is nice that, and I bet it is. I mean, because we've never obviously experienced that, have we, Rocco? Just traveling 20 miles, but I bet it is really good. You all feeling like you're embarking on a big journey from overseas to come watch football. That's really cool.
Yeah, it is, and you kind of I think people look out for each other. They do look out for each other. Like if someone drops a bag or a passport or something, like you see 3 or 4 people going in to grab it and pick it up for them, and everyone's just really nice to each other. You also get to know the same faces as well. She just gets chatting to people all the time. So yeah, it's a funny one. I had a weird one last night actually. When I was over for the Borough game, I was chatting to this guy, probably early 60s, really lovely man. I was chatting to him quite a lot. I bumped into him 2 or 3 times that day in the airport, at the match, so on and so forth. Walking out of Mill Hall last night, and he's going in. And my brother Steve says to me, "Oh, that's Ethan's former manager, Leon." And I was going, "Oh, he's a, yeah." So I went back to him. I said, "By the way, all the times you and I have been talking," I said, "we never knew that you used to manage my nephew." And he goes, "Hang on, is your name Darragh?" And I was like, "Yeah." He goes, "You and I played football together for about 4 years on the same team." And I was like, "What?" It turns out I was his manager. I remembered him. I was like, "Leon, you've literally won Player of the Year for me one of the years." And there the 2 of us were talking to each other like on multiple occasions, and it was only like 1 o'clock in the morning outside Moo Hall we copped that we knew each other from years back, from like 20 years ago. Madness.
It's like
Not that many jobs, Darragh. But
yeah,
you can understand why you forget some details.
For any new listeners, we'll come back one day to the porn years as well. It's for another time. It's for another time.
A different type of celebration.
So we're it's always a bit sad when we all end up going to football. Borough was the exception because obviously we had great tickets for that one, but we all sort of come together, have a couple of beers, and then split off and go watch the football, which is always a bit of a shame, isn't it? But Darragh, you're in the south stand. Rocco, you're northeast corner. I'm northwest corner, which the stadium plans obviously came out as well yesterday. Fitting timing, lovely rendered video of the flyover on the motorway, seeing the stands. I'm really excited to see Elland Road developed. When you think all those years ago, how many years ago was it? 25 years ago, pretty much, it was touted that we were going to be moving out and away from the site, which would have been devastating. Obviously, a lot of other things happened then, but now it feels like we've got a proper base that's going to be built on, which is what we've wanted for such a long time. Rocco, I'm guessing mixed bag of feelings for you.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the thing for me is when I saw it, like I just straight away thought Anfield. It's like, it just looks like Anfield. It doesn't look like Elland Road anymore. But having seen it in a bit more detail and not off the back of 4 or 5 pints, I do actually quite like it. Although I have found out that the architects are the same as the ones that did Anfield.
Copy and paste, was it? Yeah.
Copy. Well, no, we're not allowed to say that. You get a load of abuse if you say that. But looks like it to
I'll
me.
take the abuse.
But I got some inside information actually. I don't know if it's known, but yeah, like for the next year they'll be like doing the sort of essential enabling works and then start construction at the end of the season, this season, and then construction will basically end Q4, so the end of 2028. But that's just on the West Stand, and then at that point they will decide whether or not to go ahead with the COP. So
that's miles away, though. That's annoying.
Well, it is miles away, yeah, and but it will definitely happen. The West Stand will happen.
Yeah, it needs to.
It's just a case of it does feel so far in the future, but it'll go pretty quickly. But yeah, whatever. Even if we go down next season, the West Stand's getting done.
Well, last time we were in the Premier League, the West Stand was the oldest stand in the league at that point as well, wasn't it? I don't know if that's still the case now with the teams that are in there. So, yeah, I mean, even the porter cabins are still there, aren't they, for extra facilities for teams as well. So it needs it. Like it'll be great for the club. Like that was an iconic stand in the 70s as well, wasn't it? And chance for it to be iconic again. Cool. Yeah, got to our seats, got these little beauties, didn't we? Anyone watching the YouTube version, yellow scarves? Had a look before we started recording, not because I was thinking of doing it, but just because someone said they're selling for a fortune on eBay. There's one going for 60 odd quid. It's like, why would you sell it? Why would you sell it? It's a great memento. Well, yeah. It doesn't keep you warm and it doesn't keep you cool. I'm not sure what it does, but it's a nice memento. Good that it's got the smiley badge on. That's a nice one, isn't it? Where is it?
Daniel Farker might buy one. Did you hear what he had to say about it?
No.
So Farker said that when he came out of the tunnel to the wall of yellow, he got very emotional because it's been the story of his career. Obviously, his career started with Dortmund, and then he moved on to Norwich, and now he's with Leeds. And he says the overriding colour has always been yellow. And he said he got really emotional when he saw it. Yeah, nice to hear that from the gaffer.
Yellow doesn't sell though, does it, Angus Kinnear? So, and then to be fair to Angus Kinnear, obviously his last home game appearance until he comes when he's at Everton. Darragh's waving goodbye for anyone who's on the audio version.
Ironically,
he did mention or call to it in the program notes that he was always right that yellow would sell. So, but like you said, Rocco, and I think you banged your fist on the table in a temper in Rudy's to say, well, Leeds United, it's always been white and yellow. It's like, yeah, it doesn't matter what data you look at or what research you carry out. They're essentially our colours. So come on.
And I've loved it this season, seeing so much yellow inside Elland Road.
It's been great.
Growing up and Elland Road looks white and yellow, so last night was obviously very, very yellow, but that was great for a change. But yeah, let's hope they keep the tradition going and just have one wacky third kit, but white or yellow. It's the only way we should accept if we could have a choice.
White or yellow, Elland Road looked incredible last night and was incredible last night. The atmosphere inside the stadium from the word go was just absolutely incredible. Like, it dipped a little bit maybe for 5 minutes before the second goal, but then it went up like to 11.
I'll tell you what I'd say even before the go, and that's a sign of a good night where, before kick-off there's chants going, and there was back to the old era where they were singing through old players' names, like Radaby got a song, and loads of the old classics came out, which was really good. Brady's as well. So yeah, it was a great atmosphere. I actually got a chant going, and I've never done that before in my life. Never managed to do it, and it sort of accidentally happened. And Adam and Gaz, who sit next to me, I turned around and they was staring at me because the chant had started.
What was the chant?
It was just no. But it was before. I think it was that thing of we'd all got there, and it was sort of forgotten the situation, and it felt like we're going up. Like reminded ourselves that was happening. So at that moment, it just kind of fit and worked, and everyone jumped onto it. So yeah, it was great. It was so much fun last night. Really good.
It showed how loud it was when the players were coming out. We were singing Leeds United. Song, can't remember now what it was, but we were chanting a song and we couldn't even hear Marching On Together start. So like the Marching On Together as the teams came out from where I was completely messed up because
it was out of sync,
we were totally out of time. Yeah, I don't know, you probably didn't notice that at your end, Darragh, I don't know, but it was completely out of time.
Yeah, we were way behind. It was really confusing.
Yeah, but it shows how loud it was, that chant as the players were coming out, that we couldn't even hear it.
I stood next to Joe, who's a drummer as well, and everyone being out of time for him is just like the ultimate annoyance.
And just to clarify, for anyone who doesn't know, Joe is the guy who's written the theme song for this pod. But hey, the players didn't disappoint either because they actually put on a show for us. That really helps because as good a mood we were in, there's a danger that can just kind of fizzle out under any normal circumstances, but it was not normal circumstances. We were brilliant last night, start to finish.
I always said we would win. I always said we would win, if you remember, on the way
yeah,
there.
you did. You definitely said we'd win on the way there. You definitely didn't say 2-0 to Bristol. I had a great view of that Tanaka goal. I was only 4 rows from the front, probably head height with the players.
Great ball
and
in
that
as well.
goal, like the way he just kept it down. Say again?
Great ball in as well.
Super ball in, and there was a tight angle, and it wasn't just the angle, but like if he'd hit it up, I think that part was covered.
Yeah.
But he just put his foot on it and found a little space in the bottom corner. It was absolutely brilliant.
I don't
know
if you saw Joe Donahue from the YP's tweet saying, "I've seen this goal before," and he screenshot a picture of the Solomon Tanaka offside as well. So well spotted, Joe. That was good. Like that. Very good. Yeah, it was. It was just unbelievable. We were playing so well, and Bristol just weren't even touching the ball. I think Naki Wells had a run into our box and sort of fell over at one point, didn't he? And that was kind of it.
Did Ronan not push him a little bit?
I did think that at the time, but I think it was got sort of shoulder to shoulder. And Naki Wells didn't contest it, did he? So, and usually he would. Let's be honest.
Fair challenge. It was just a sign of how well men against boys, wasn't it?
Yeah.
We were awesome. Like, we're getting better and better, probably because the pressure's off, of course. But yeah, that was absolutely magnificent. Every bit as good as Stoke, probably better because we're against a better team. Yeah, we didn't blow them away with all the goals in the first half, but it was just so good. Just absolutely tore through them, left, right, and centre. Brilliant performance.
Yeah,
I have to give Aronson a bit of credit as well.
He had a good game, Darragh. He had a good game.
He did have a good game. There was one where a Bogle broke down the right, and he went across it in at the byline, but it got blocked and started going back up towards his wing. And to be fair to Aronson, he ran across and chased whatever the Bristol player who had it, harried him and hustled him, and then eventually Tanaka just came in and put it out for a throw in. And that was really good. And there was another one where we lost the ball in midfield, probably just inside their half. And again, Aronson chased the first man. He passed it. He chased the second man. He passed it. Chased the third man. Third man panicked and kicked it straight back to us. And you go, yeah, like that is quality. Like, I can absolutely see how that adds value to the team. Yeah. I still think for me, he needs to be doing more on the ball. But when you do see that off the ball, you can 100% see the value he has to the team.
It's a horrendous combination for Bristol, isn't it? You've got players like him buzzing around, just causing so much pressure on you. You got the noise of Elland Road as well. It must be so hard to focus and concentrate, especially when you're out of possession a lot of the time and you're relying on your teammates to sort of coordinate with them, for communicating where you should be. And yeah, that is Elland Road as a fortress, like a proper fortress. It was amazing. I don't think we haven't had that for a long time. That feeling inside Elland Road, I don't think.
No, probably the Bristol Rovers, I think. That springs to mind when I'm trying to think of atmosphere similar. That was obviously unbelievable and terrified Bristol Rovers. And yeah, we were a man down, but like Grayson said, it felt like we were 3 men up, and that's what it looked like because of the fans. And yeah, last night was one of those occasions. I mean, Norwich last season was excellent and probably quite similar, but last night was special, no question.
Tell me, lads, from your view then behind the goal, the Revy stand, how good was that pass by Joel Peru? That's the best pass I've seen since was it Jack Harrison into Kamir Roof at the Derby away?
Good shout. Yeah.
Best pass since Rodrigo passed it to Salah. Is that
I knew you were going to say that.
No, I'm only joking. Do you know who it really reminded me of? And we've talked about this before, about Joel Peru coming deep, collecting the ball, shielding it from a defender, doing some of that work much deeper, but remind me a lot of Harry Kane. Harry Kane is so good at coming for the ball, and he used to just do that so often, then spray it to Son running through. I was
often
really
Elland Road.
Say again.
Bielsa's last game. That's basically what did for him.
Exactly that. Like, it reminds me of that stupid bloody Spurs purple kit in that game, unfortunately. But yeah, what a moment. And there's a lot of I think we've talked about this between us on WhatsApp, and certainly in the last week, there's just been really unfair talk on Farke around, and obviously the Daily Mail article and various other sources talking about, potentially the 49ers sacking him before the season even starts. And I made a conscious effort on the last podcast to not even talk about, it was before that had all come about, but not really even talk about transfers and not talk about any of the speculative stuff, because I really just want to enjoy now and enjoy. And we, at that point as well, we've got 2 games to play. We want to win the league. I really want us to win the league. But I think I'm coming to the point where, especially how we've played in the last few games, you start to survey the players that we've got, and you start to think, you see interesting things that they're doing now, and you think, well, can they, can they do it? Can when you see that from Joel Piroe, you think that is a level up. That is a level up from what he's been doing recently. So if he can continue to do things like that week in, week out, he's got a great shot of being a class striker in the Premier League. He's got a great finisher. So there's just other games that other parts of his game that he can build in, and I think he could be really good. He's still young as well.
Yeah, that's the thing. You look through our team, or you think about strategies in the past and promoted teams, going for the best of the Championship. Well, our team's littered with them. Like, that's what we are. We're the best of the Championship. So the age that most of them are at, their goal is to play in the Premier League and become established Premier League players. And, I'm starting to think, give them a shot, buy 3 or 4 real Premier League quality players with experience who are proven at that level. And I think that's less of a risk than buying 7 or 8 players, because, without spending 200 million on 7 or 8 players, like, we could end up going backwards. And, Forest did similar and nearly got relegated. If it weren't for Jesse Marsh, maybe they'd have gone down. And obviously Ipswich have spent an absolute fortune and been appalling. Probably, who knows, maybe worse.
They bought cream of the Championship as well, and they hadn't necessarily bought enough Premier League quality to build on top of some of the players that they've already got.
Almost think less is more. Like, the one thing, it's like Pirou's ball, unbelievable, but in the Premier League, like, he doesn't have the space to play it. That guy is right up his arse. I know he slipped over, but, Piroe probably just wouldn't get away from him and have the space and time to look up and deliver such a fantastic pass. Sometimes he would, maybe, but, it's an example of the difference, the gulf in class. So massive, massive challenge. But I don't know, the way he's built that squad, and he has said originally, he did say, like, I want to go up with a team that can then adapt and prosper in the Premier League and grow into the Premier League. So should be the approach, really.
Yeah, I totally agree. I don't think there's many players in that team who wouldn't do a job in the Premier League. Now, I'm not sure collectively how much that'll be. Like, obviously, I think, you take 1 or 2 of those players out, or even take 8 or 9 of those players out and put them in different Premier League teams, I think they can make a difference. Altogether, they might come up a bit short, and that's why I think, a little bit of reinforcements. We need a goalkeeper. I'd love to see a centre-back, because I'd love to see someone even better than Rodon with Rodon, so you can take a bit of the pressure off Rodon. You got Ampadu and Tanaka in midfield. I don't know how much it would cost to replace one of them, so I'd leave both of them. And then you've got the number 10, obviously, and the number 9, I think, which are big ones. Because I think we've even seen, obviously, we'll be in for Solomon on the left, but Ramazani came on yesterday and was absolutely electric. We know Nanto can rise to that level. And even there was a few bits Nanto did yesterday, didn't come off for him, like one-touch passes and little flicks and stuff. And it wasn't all coming off for him, but you could see his speed of thought was there. Like, his speed of thought was a little bit ahead of everyone else. And I think, obviously when he first came to Leeds, I think he might have had a little bit of a purple patch with a bit of luck where all that stuff was coming off for him, and maybe it hasn't been as glorious for him as it has been. But there's no reason why he can't turn that on again, because I've said it before, I've said it with Piroe. I think certain levels of play suit certain players, and like, there's certain players you could put in the Vauxhall Conference or whatever it's called now, and they'll look like good conference players, but you put them in the Premier League and they look like good Premier League players. So something about kind of rising to the level you're at and dealing with different paces. So I think there's a lot of players in that squad who could do a job. But like you say, Rocco, maybe 3 or 4 really good reinforcements might be all we need.
Yeah, I mean, even when I don't want to talk back to this too much, but even when you look back to our first year in the Premier League, and I know there's so many different comparisons to make here, particularly because of the job that Bielsa did, but players like Rafinha that came in and just took us up a notch, didn't they? And Rodrigo didn't. Rodrigo, it took him a long time to kind of settle into any form for Leeds. So yeah, I think recruitment's obviously so important, and the club obviously announced today that Adam Underwood's sporting director. So we'll see what comes up in the over the summer. There's plenty of time to talk about transfers. Rocco, you mentioned
good appointment, by the way, very good appointment.
Yeah,
it's a guy who's going to hit the ground. He's going to hit the ground running. Like, he's going to have plans. He's done a lot, and he's done a lot at the club, and he's going to see. When you're in a place of work for a while, you kind of go, if I had my way, I'd do this and this and this and this. So now he's going to have his chance to do that now. I think that's a very, very shrewd appointment.
There's the other thing as well, that if you've been there that long, you care about it as well. You're not just making a career move, you want to be there and you want to progress. So I think all the signs look really positive, and the club, let's be honest, is way better structured than it was 6-7 years ago. So without going into that, Darren, upsetting you. But Rocco, you mentioned that the best team in the Championship, the EFL probably disagree based on the team that they picked for the season.
My goodness, yeah. I mean, to be fair, I can't believe it wasn't Trafford as the Player of the Year, but I mean, Hamer, what on earth are you? What? How is that possible? It's just madness. Yeah, and the Team of the Year, I don't know. It's hard to get upset about that sort of thing because we only see Leeds, but that Player of the Year decision was just absolutely baffling.
Even Josh Brownhill at Burnley's got to be feeling aggrieved. I mean, 16 goals from midfield, and they gave it to Joe Bellingham. I mean, come on. And I mean, the worst of the worst. We've smashed every goal scoring record we've had. We've been brilliant going forward. We get one of our 4 attackers into the team, and Norwich, who are sitting 14th in the league, get 2. Come on.
It's ridiculous, isn't it? It's almost like on the day of it, they just use ChatGPT to pick some winners or something. No thought.
Did you see Junior Firpo's tweet today, actually?
Yeah.
Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. I urge anyone to go and have a look for it. The basic gist of it is he's still buzzing from last night, blah, 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 loves the club. And then at the end, he signs off, the second best left back in the league. Ha, ha, ha.
Yeah. Well, speaking of the second best left back in the league, does that segue into the third goal as well? It was his marvellous ball.
Yeah, what an assist.
Yeah, it was an amazing assist, amazing ball into Ramazani, who obviously came on as a sub and scored 60 seconds, was it, after he was subbed on? So, yeah, very pleased for Ramazani, very pleased for Firpo, obviously pleased for Ramazani because there was not gossip about it, because I think Farke did the right thing and told him that he needed to knuckle down, basically, but then was very friendly with it at the Borough game, wasn't he? They sort of had a hug on the pitch and whatnot and made a point of it to the fans. And sometimes players do just need telling. And I think he was told, wasn't he? And yeah, he's come on, he's made an impact. And his celebration's ridiculous, isn't it? It's like, his feet are higher than your head when he does that. I just don't know how he does it. Everything would pop out of its joint if I was to give that a go.
Indeed, yeah. What quality from Firpo though? The ball was just fantastic, and I think that's the difference. The main difference between Farke and Bielsa's teams. I know people seem to have a bee in their bonnet about comparing the two, which I don't understand. Like, we celebrate both teams, why can't we talk about it? The quality that Farke has down the wings from the fullbacks and the wingers, like compared to what Bielsa had, is a major difference. Ayling obviously was comparable to Bogle, but like the delivery and the final ball is just a totally different class to having Alioski down one side or a right-footed Dallas. And yeah, that's why we get so many tap-ins, because the final balls are excellent, and Firpo's just, too good for the level. But yeah, is he good enough for the Premier League? Hopefully we find out. I think I'd like to see him given a contract and then, see how he does. Maybe not first choice, but don't know, give him a chance.
He's making all the right noises about wanting to stay, isn't he? Like, it certainly appears he wants to stay. And look, going forward, he's as good as anything. As I have significant question marks about him defensively. But like that, I think he said himself, like, don't judge me on what I was like last time. I was riddled with injuries. The club wasn't going in the right direction. So, you know what, Junior? I think, same like Daniel Farke, if you want to stay, you deserve a chance. Yeah, let's do it. And he gets Leeds as well. I love his attitude. I love his spirit. And there's a lot to be said for that. But go back to Ramazani for a moment, actually. There was an excellent bit of attitude he showed after his goal. Bristol broke down our right wing. I think the guy got past Bogle. Don't know how, because no one's done that for about 6 months. And Ramazani came across at lightning speed and ensured that he cut out the cross. He actually blocked the cross and went out for a throw-in. I thought, yes, Ramazani, that is exactly what Farke wants from you. So when you think, everyone's singing champions again, ole, ole, and we're 3-0 up, and you've scored your first touch, and you still got that desire to get back and block the cross. I think that there's something special going on at the club right now, lads, and we need to enjoy every minute of it.
Yeah. It is that sort of thing, isn't it? If your manager gives you feedback, he's only wanting you to do well. He's not bollocking you for the sake of it, is he? And the best players take on that criticism or feedback, don't they? And they do something about it. It was a few good run outs for subs. Bamford was getting some chants on the sidelines, which were hilarious. I'll mention Joe again as well, because Joe had surgery on his mouth and he was like howling with laughter and bits of blood coming out of his mouth. It was like, I felt sorry for him. But yeah, it was so funny on that touchline. Anyone who didn't see it or not heard about it, the Revy stand was just asking for a song. Bamford, give us a song. Obviously, harking back to the song that he instigated about Mr. Chris Wilder that he had to phone him about in the week. But yeah, it was so funny. And then in the end, he did do the hand pumps to the North Stand. Was naughty little boy looking back to see if the bench was watching him. It was funny. It was funny when the subs have been made as well, because some people might have spotted this, but they always do that awkward thing where I don't know which coach it is on the bench, but they like call them back, ready to be subbed on, and Harry Gray was like, "Oh, it's me," and like ran back. He's like, "No, not you." He's like, "Oh," and he was laughing because he got it wrong. Came back, and then later on, after the third goal, he came up and tapped him on his back to bring attention to someone else to come on, and Harry like started running back. He's like, "No, not you." It was like really good.
Poor Harry.
I know. He was like, "I'm gonna come on," but yeah, it was very, very funny. But yeah,
did you think those substitutes were Farke's thank yous? I thought they were, and I thought bringing Giavogi on, I thought was very telling for the story that he's playing, or the part he's playing in the story of the season. From coming in as a semi-retired player who was probably sitting with his feet up, getting a call to come to Leeds, knowing full well he's not going to really play, he's there for cover, to someone who did play a little bit and didn't look great, but obviously gave a lot in the dressing room and a lot of positivity and a lot of leadership to help drag us over the line, because there's no way Farke would have brought him on like he did. I think the only player he could have brought on instead of Harry Gray last night was Sam Byram, who obviously came on, Leeds lad, and gave the Leeds salute during his celebrations as well. That was lovely to see. But I did think, I'm not sure you guys agree, was that Farke's thank you to those specific 5 players?
Yeah, definitely. Sentimental subs, yeah, and they deserve it. Yeah, they're the ones that have been bit part and accepting of it, and yeah, just great, shown the grit and determination to help the squad. You can imagine in training them working really hard. So it's not just, the training ground and coming off the bench for 5 minutes. It's all season, keeping themselves fit and keeping the first team players on their toes and all that stuff. Yeah, I think so, and fully deserved, and probably a farewell, I imagine, for a few of them too.
Yeah. What a life, though, just going and playing football with your mates, just keeping fit all year, eating well, living well. It sounds absolutely class, doesn't it?
And then you get to
chef.
celebrate like they did last night. That was amazing. Yeah. But before we get to that, there was one more goal.
Yeah, there was.
I think we have to talk about, because it was great. It was straight out of a shooting drill. If you've ever done shooting drills as a kid, it's stop it with your left, shoot with your right, stop with your right, shoot with your left. And that's exactly what Ramazani did. It was
played it to him.
Top. Gruev.
Was it Gruev? Yeah.
Another unsung hero. But Gruev pings the ball over the top. Ramazani stops it with his right and then just hits it first time with his left. Straight out of his shooting drills. Brilliant goal.
I think about 10 people around us were like, touch that first one, and there's bang, just in. What a great goal. Phenomenal.
Yeah, it wasn't even that far away from the keeper. Like, it was relatively close to him, but he hit it so quickly. Keeper hadn't got time for a split step, which we've spoken about before. And if you don't get your split step right, you haven't got a hope of saving it.
I was getting annoyed because they were passing it around the back, and I was like, get it forward, there's like 10 seconds to go. And Gruev did exactly that. But also, like, we've seen about, 20,000 times, like, players making that run that Ramazani makes, and they never play it over the top. They never do it. It's like the first time I can remember them even trying it, and it comes up with a goal. But what an unbelievable goal it was. And Ramazani, already we've waxed lyrical, but like, it reminds me of the Gradle situation from when we got promoted out of League One, and he was an impact sub. Obviously started the last game, but he was a sub that season. And then in the Championship, he's straight in the team, main player, 17 goals or whatever he got. So I am hoping the same from Largy in the Premier League.
Reckon it'll happen. Thinking back to balls like that over the top, the last one I remember was the one to Ruta last season where he got a cracking touch on it, didn't he? Do you remember that one where it sort of dropped over his head? That was a good moment as well. Yeah, 4th minute that was. It felt like the icing on the cake for an amazing evening. I think everyone around us just thought, same as you when we're passing it around, just come on, just go get one more. But I think Ampadu probably wanted his passing record. Was it most completed passes in ever in a championship game or something ridiculous when it was like 100 odd passes or something crazy? So him and Rodon just passed it between them to get their stats up. But yeah,
I'll give. I need to give Darragh some dues as well, because at the beginning of the season, your surprise package prediction was Ilya Gruev, and you said that he was going to contribute more to our attacking play. Now, obviously, it's been punctured by injury. He's not really had a chance to get fully up to speed, but there you saw it. That's what you were talking about.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was talking about. I did think him and Ampadu would play more in midfield, and he'd be probably a bit more dynamic than he has been. Because to be fair, when he's played mostly, he's played with Tanaka, and he's been the one dropping. Gruev's been the one dropping deep, but Gruev has definitely added a bit of penetration to his game, shall we say?
Who did you have as your secret weapon or whatever you call it?
Surprise package.
Surprise package. Yeah.
I had Jorginho Rutter.
No,
it was a surprise package. Yeah,
a surprise 40 million package from Brighton.
yeah, that's right. Who was mine?
Meslier.
Aronson. No, yours was Aronson.
I knew it was Aronson. Crying out loud, that is awful. Again, surprise package.
Celebrations. We have to move on to celebrations.
Celebrations were good. Full time was proper party atmosphere. All the tunes played on the PA, waiting for the team to spray one another with champagne. It honestly felt so weird, because that's exactly what we wanted all those years ago in COVID, and we missed it. So it felt really surreal being there and it happening, if I'm honest. But so good, like so grateful to have witnessed it. I know there's a lot of people that would have really loved to have been in the ground. So I am really, really grateful for being there, and what a moment.
Good, wasn't it? It was. I don't know. I feel slightly spoilt from the Bristol Rovers thing, because obviously, like, we had it then, but we had like unbelievable elation and euphoria mixed in. So obviously wasn't like that, but it was a momentous celebration. But yeah, they didn't spend much time near the Kop, which I was a bit sad about. And they ended up going down to the South Stand, which South Stand probably deserve it, to be completely fair and magnanimous about it. But yeah, you must have enjoyed it, Darragh. Harry Gray swinging on the crossbar.
Yeah, literally a few feet away from me. Like I could see the hairs on their chin. I was very, very close, which obviously didn't make for the best second half when those goals were going in. Your depth of field isn't great. Like the one where the keeper saved on the line. I actually turned to the person beside me. I said to him, for all we know, that could have been 18 yards out. Like, then we saw the replay. I was like, oh no, that was right on the line. Okay. But no, the celebrations were amazing. Like I think if anyone wasn't there, look, I've missed a lot of Leeds games over the years, not living, so close to the ground. It's for anyone who wasn't there, just no way of describing it even. It was just party atmosphere, carnival atmosphere from start to finish. But those last 10, 15 minutes of that celebration were just electric, complete euphoric, superb. Everyone's just smiling and laughing, singing songs, and everyone in it together. And a real kind of camaraderie, even the flags or the scarves. And then I think the players got some great receptions as well. Like we look at, Tom Meslier, it was delighting for Meslier came out and he didn't shrink. He kind of started giving it up to the crowd, and the crowd gave it back to him. I mean, 200 appearances. He's done wonderfully well for Leeds. I know he's had his issues this season, but look, it's all worked out, and he saved us a lot over those years as well. So chances are his time at Leeds is done. So I'm delighted he got a really good send off. Bogle obviously is becoming an absolute fan favorite because he's a dynamo. He's incredible. Tanaka got an incredible cheer from the lads and from the fans. And you can imagine, like, what must have been going through his head. You're moving from Germany to England. It's a completely different country, different language. You're from Japan. The culture is extremely different. Your parents are coming over. They don't know what to expect from you. Even German second league is probably not, you can probably walk around the town without getting noticed. And next minute, he's got 47,000 adore him. Absolutely adore him. Are singing Tanaka and chanting hey-oh. Like, there's something quite tribal about that. That's kind of like harkens back to the Iceland thunderclap thing. Like, there's something very tribal about the AO. And a few other ones that kind of jumped at me, like Ilya Gruev got a really big round of applause, which I hope wasn't ominous. I hope he's still with us next season. I think he could have a part to play. And Harry Gray obviously got another one. And Sam Boyram, obviously, when they mentioned he's one of our own. I felt a little bit sorry for Brendan Aronson. I don't think there was any malice in it, but when the people were still chanting for Peru when Aronson came out, and I think he was maybe just slightly missed in that. But honestly, I just for anyone who wasn't there, who's been a regular at Elland Road and missed that night, I think it's one of those ones you look back on with a little bit of a tear in the eye, because it brings a tear. It'll bring a tear to my eye for the rest of my life. I'll never forget last night. It was incredible.
On the other end of the spectrum, how loud were the boos for Voba?
I was about to say, I actually have a note of that. I didn't like that. I'll be honest, I didn't like it. Like, it wasn't the time and place.
No.
Nah.
Were they properly audible? I mean, I could hear it around me.
Oh,
but
I could hear them, yeah.
Yeah. That's a bit harsh.
In fairness, fans are entitled to their opinion, so I'm not knocking anyone's opinion, but for me, it wasn't the right time and place. Celebration, just leave it at
that. We'll move on from that. It's funny, isn't it? Because you can easily just say atmosphere was good, move on, and anyone who wasn't there, it just feels like that's what everyone says. You go to a game and you say Elland Road's great atmosphere, but it really was something special about it. Like, every minute, every moment of the game, just everyone was happy, and the football was great as well. It ticked all the right boxes. Under 21s have just won the cup. Harry Gray scored the winner as well.
No way!
Oh, congratulations!
Yeah,
brilliant.
And Matthew, one of the founders of the podcast, he's actually there. He's engineered a trip with work down in London, I imagine, and he's at Sutton United to watch that win. So we've just sent a picture in our group from behind the goal. So, but that was fun.
The good times continue.
Exactly.
Speaking of good times, there's one that we haven't mentioned yet, actually, who got a lot of songs yesterday. Some guy called Daniel Fark. Never heard of him, but there was a lot of tunes for Daniel Fark yesterday. I think Leeds fans put that to bed quite quickly, didn't they? Like, in terms of where our allegiance lies with regards to that, and certainly the fans in the stadium did, because there was 3 or 4 very big Daniel, and I think 49ers will be under a lot of pressure now if they even wanted to consider letting them go. The Leeds fans have spoken, and he clearly has the backing of the Elland Road faithful.
He gaslighted us into a chant, though, didn't he, in the press conference, saying he hadn't had one yet. So,
he gave him the same one as Harry as well.
Yeah, that's it. You're only having this, Daniel. You've done a great job, but this is all you get. Yeah, he totally deserved it for me as well. And, I think last night was so warm, and Daniel continued to wear the black jacket and the black trousers. And that, for me, and I think we said it last season, that is him to a T. He's always got a calm head. He's not hot. He's not too cold, is he? He's just level. And he is ridden the storm of a lot of things for us over the last 2 seasons, and really, really grateful for him. I know people obviously make comparisons, and that's, like you said, Rocco, it's okay to do that, and it does feel different this time round, but I can't imagine someone else have been able to do this in hindsight now.
Yeah, he's done unbelievably well. Yeah, I feel really sad for him. I really do. Like, even on the pitch yesterday, they're interviewing him on the pitch while everyone's spraying champagne around, and they're mentioning the speculation and next season. And it's like, it's humiliating for him. Like, the guy is just done, he's about to get 100 points, probably win the championship for the 3rd time. Like, what is it all about? It just, makes me really sad, that, because he should just be on cloud 9 with the players, excited about next season. And, he's having to field those sorts of questions. So even if there's nothing in it and he's going to be the manager next season, I still think it's so disrespectful that this has been allowed to happen. It pisses me off. It really does. So, yeah, I love Farker. I think he's done amazingly. We look like a Premier League team under him.
He made a really good point in the press conference, didn't he, about this is Leeds United, and essentially there's always going to be speculation, and you just have to ignore it. And he knows that that's part of the course of managing a club like this. And I think that's what's good about Daniel Farke, is he feels like he's mentally prepared himself for a lot of things already that come his way, which I think is he's thinking through scenarios, and that's shows him as a really strong leader. Which, Darragh, you have always said that we've all had criticisms of Farke at times, which is fair. But I think one thing you can never doubt is how good an actual leader of the fans, the board, the players, all the staff. He is brilliant at it.
Yeah, he's been immense, and like, obviously I can't shy away from the fact that I've been highly critical of some of his managerial decisions, but I've always maintained, I've always maintained that he's an incredible leader, and I've always maintained he'd get us up. Even after Luton, I hammered him after Luton for running players into the ground, for not making subs, for not playing Ramazani back into the team, which I still think to this day are legitimate criticisms. But I finished it by saying, but I still think he's the right man for the job and he'll get us promoted. So I've never wavered in that respect from Farke. And it's funny, James, you mentioned about like, he says that he's at a big club like Leeds and he's used to speculation, or it's going to be speculation. That speculation is supposed to come off the back of defeats or some sort of failure. It's certainly not supposed to come 2 days after you've just achieved your ambition. So I just thought it was incredibly mean-spirited and despicable by the Daily Mail, or Telegraph, whatever it was.
Yeah, it was the Mail, yeah.
Mail, to do that 2 days after it, just take the shine off it. And I'm going to be honest, I want to give the 49ers a clip around the ear as well and say, just come out with a statement and say it's complete nonsense and there's nothing to it. And then Daniel Farke will not have to listen to those questions when he's on the pitch at Elland Road celebrating his achievement of record-breaking statistics left, right and centre as he leads us to his determined goal, which was to get Leeds promoted, which he has done. So yeah, I just find the whole thing distasteful. I think I said when Bielsa was with us, I loved how he made me feel about Leeds. That I didn't think we were the best team in the world, but I felt we were the best club in the world. There was a morality about it, and I still like that about Leeds United. And I think Farke's been done dirty here. I don't like what's gone on here. I don't like it one little bit.
Yeah, I think that's totally fair. And I think all that's left for Farke to do this season is steer us to a victory. I say all that's left to do. It's not an easy challenge, is it? You got Plymouth. Are they down and out?
Yeah, it's like
17 goal swing or something.
All right. Well, they've knackered that, then, haven't they? See you later, Plymouth. So should be a walk in the park. Burnley have got a bit more of a difficult challenge at Millwall, you would think, because they're still playing for it, aren't they?
Yeah, Millwall need a win to make playoffs, so that's going to be a tough one.
Yeah.
Actually, there was a guy on, the funny one I saw on Twitter today, you'll laugh at this, a Plymouth fan saying to other Plymouth fans, listen, this Leeds United team are going to absolutely destroy us. Just sell your tickets to Leeds fans. Let them have their day of fun and we don't have to watch this crap. And I thought, you know what, fair play. Actually, one of them on the fair plays, fair play to Bristol last night because they were good-spirited throughout the game. And at the end, I think a good few of their fans stayed and actually celebrated for us. So I can officially declare now I'm up for Bristol in the playoffs. Yeah, they were. And that's very good-spirited of them. So I'm up for Bristol in the playoffs. So I hope Bristol go up.
It's one of those. It's one of those, isn't it, where they're dancing around because why not? You've travelled all that way. You've had such a poor night. You might as well just embrace it, haven't you? So I really, really, really want us to win the league. So much so, and there's obviously a scheduled parade now for Bank Holiday Monday around Leeds City Centre, which will last 60 to 90 minutes, and it'll go from Hedgerow all the way down to City Square near the station as well. So just. Please would it. It would be absolutely amazing. Rocco?
Parading that second place trophy, can we? That'd just be terrible. Better off just putting it on the side or something.
Think about it from the player's perspective, though. It's something you'll never forgive yourself for. Like, they've worked their arses off to get where they're at. They've put blood, sweat and tears into it all season. Injuries, overcome outcomes. You know, they've done everything they can. They absolutely have to finish this now. Like, you might never in your career ever be one game away from a league title. No matter what league it is, you're one game away. You got to give it everything and get that and have it on your CV for the rest of your life. Suffer now and live the rest of your life as a champion. Right? That's what they need to do. Suffer now and live the rest of your life as a champion for Leeds United.
Burnley and Leeds might finish on 100 points, which is insane, isn't it, as well? Yeah, absolutely bonkers. Yeah. Anyone who's travelling down to Plymouth, have a absolutely wonderful time, safe journey as well, and enjoy it. It'll be a good one. I'm sure there'll be hundreds of Leeds fans out there.
Thousands. They'll be packed.
Storming the place. So, yeah, I think that's probably it for us for this week. Unless there's anything for you, Darragh. I knew there would be. There's always something from Darragh. He needs to pre-warn us.
Two little ones. We did say on the pod last week, if anyone sees us, come over and say hello. And I was coming through Dublin Airport today, and Gavin Riley, a listener to the pod, who was talking to me about Gruev on Twitter last week, came over and said he loves the pod and keep up the good work. So, how are you, Gavin? And thanks for that today. Another one, story I got in Moo Hall last night, right? About 12:30 at night from a guy called Alan, who's a season ticket holder. Goes to hundreds of games from Ireland. He says to me, did you know Ethan Ampadu he could have played for Ireland. No, didn't know this. He says, yeah, his dad is Eddie Ampadu from Coolock in North Dublin. And they lived all their life in Ireland, in Coolock, and then moved to Wales, where obviously they had their kids, and then settled. But yeah, the Ampadus apparently from Coolock in Dublin. Any other Irish fans can confirm this is true or not. But I mean, I've no reason to doubt Alan. If Alan says it's true, I'm sure it's true. He's from Coolock. But yeah, mad story. Couldn't believe that.
I love how the Irish, you all talk about like you know one another as well. It's amazing. There's just always that tone of like you've all met one another somehow. I love it.
I love how every player, all the best players in the world, could have somehow played for Ireland.
Yeah. That's it. Who else we got? Erling Haaland. Cool. Right. Brilliant. Have a wonderful, wonderful week. Fingers crossed we're back next time and we've won the league. I really hope so. But yeah, enjoy everyone.